Hello, friends, and welcome to Theme Party the Podcast. I'm your party host, Merete Mohs. In case this is your first time listening to a TPTP episode, here is what we're doing. Every season, I pick a theme, and our team comes up with their own ideas for an audio drama that somehow fits that theme, even if it only fits if you have to say, oh, let me scooch this right past you. Once they have made their episode, I invite them to talk about it. I am thrilled to be here with my party guest, Tyler Hyrchuk. Tyler is a voice actor, voiceover instructor, and coach, a copywriter, improviser, and the person that brings Shrimpy the Shrimp to life for the Disney Zombies series. Tyler, please say hello.
Hello, Merete. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, not the Merete. Oh, God. Okay. Well, for this series, what I'm doing at the top of every episode is I am telling everybody what kind of party I think they would be. And for you, I think you would be a sports party. A get-together, watching a big game, celebrating an event. I specifically think for you of American football. I don't know if that would be your sport of choice, but that is the one I think of. A bunch of people sitting around watching the game, talking about sports, just because I know how athletic you are, how much you enjoy being at a crowd of people and having a common thing to experience together, while also having casual side conversations and not having to focus too much on the main event. Does that sound like an accurate description?
First off, I brought an onion dip. Can that go in the fridge? Or?
Yeah. There's plenty of room just on the bottom shelf.
Okay, awesome.
Great.
Thank you. It depends on who you'd ask, I think. I think I could see sports party for sure. I'm not as athletic these days, more so just because that's what happens as you get older. You find less time for stuff. I would say I'm probably more of like I've become more of a theater kid in my older age.
Oh no, switching to the other side.
Yeah, I feel like more board game party of some kind. As cringy as, like, let's do some improv at this party seems, like, that also seems fun to me. But I also will say I was at, we'll get to this, I guess, later, but I was at a party this weekend, and there was a sports-themed game, and I gravitated to it very quickly.
All right.
So, ultimately, a party where there's activities. And I find it insane for people who are like, I hate being involved in activities and games and things like that. I'm like, you're not fun.
I agree. Even like when my family gets together and we're all just sitting around doing our own thing, maybe it's because I'm like on the cusp of extroversion, but just having a common thing that people can do rather than just waiting for conversation to come up organically after you've kind of worked through all the casual chit chat and small talk and stuff. Having like, hey, let's play cards. Let's build a Lego set or something like that.
Yeah, I think it depends on like the crowd too. That's what I loved about parties in college and in my early 20s where there was beer pong. Oh, yeah, go stand by the table, watch, you interact. Oh, there's flip cup. Oh, there's this. There's games to be there. Now it's like you show up. Everyone's just kind of standing around. Maybe there's music, and you're like, I don't know anybody here. Oh, I know one person in the corner. I'm going to stick to them like a barnacle on a ship.
And then it's not really a party anymore. It's kind of a casual hangout with other people around.
Yes, and it takes a very adept and deft host to be like, oh, Tyler, Merete, like, you two have this thing in common. Bye. Mm-hmm. So they're at least like trying to encourage like conversation.
Yep. You mentioned improv parties. What is your favorite improv game to pull out at a party? Maybe with not other people who are familiar with improv. One
that I did over the weekend in a class and then last night over Zoom, Vowo, unfortunately you weren't able to make it. But I got it off of, there's a podcast called Bad Friends with Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee. And I don't normally watch it, but I see YouTube shorts and stuff all the time. And Santino is like, oh, I ran into, you'll never guess who I saw. I saw Patrick Mahomes. And Bobby is notoriously bad. I don't know if this is a bit or he's just genuinely dumb. He was like, oh, the basketball player.
Oh, God.
And Andrew immediately went, yeah, he plays for the Dallas Mavericks. And then they went back and forth a couple times. And then Bobby's like, wow, that's right. And he's like, no, he's a quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I kind of co-opted that into a game, getting people to like claim that they saw a famous person and then the person they're talking to misrepresent them like immediately.
Wow.
And it was interesting because some of the students were like, they had trouble agreeing to something they knew was blatantly false. They'd be like, well, no, actually. And I'm like, no. That person, that's correct.
It's yes and.
Yes. One of my favorite ones was, oh, you'll never guess who I saw at the coffee shop, Brad Pitt.
Oh.
Brad Pitt, the famous Pope? He's my favorite Pope. And then that led to like an insane sort of back and forth.
Not only Brad Pitt the Pope, but my favorite Pope.
Yeah. And then there was Robert Downey Jr. and someone was like, oh, he runs the kissing booth at the fair or something. Oh. And I was like, it's so fun. And then that led to so much humor because everyone was like, that's not right.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Especially it's not just over and over again, like this sports ball person from this other team that they're not actually. Yeah. Improv is great.
It is.
That's so impressive. And what a skill to build for acting and improvisation and just life in general, to be able to be silly and let's go down this crazy path of what if.
And it's a super like pretentious thing, I think, to say, but like improvisers give themselves the permission to be silly and have fun. Yeah. Not enough people do that in their day-to-day life. So
exactly. I appreciate that about you for sure. Well, moving on, I guess. The theme for this season is family traditions. Tyler, did your story fit the theme?
I would say yes.
Yay!
So I would, give myself a check mark. It was a bit of a shoehorn, but I made it work.
Look, there's a family in it. I assume by now people listening to this interview have listened to the episode. I don't think there's ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think it fits, for sure. Your episode title was Lightbulbs. Would you care to read us your logline and your tagline?
Shine bright for what you believe in. Hugh, a young incandescent light bulb, balances his hopes and dreams with his mother's expectations.
Oh, beautiful. I love the announcer voice for it. Very nice. Tyler's roles in making this episode include co-founder of Lengthy Tangent, a voice actor, producer, writer, sound engineer, and designer, and the director. Let's listen to a sample of your episode.
Other bulbs just saw him as entertainment.
And you don't want to be entertainment?
I want to be a luminary, a guiding light for all bulbs.
Well, I think you're pretty luminous, Hugh.
It's only a matter of time before a gang of those protesters sneak up behind me
President
and vault me!
And you don't know our choreo!
Who needs Hugh's leotard when I've got my own? Ha-ha! And who says I don't know your choreo? I wouldn't be much of a fan if I didn't.
Walt, please. Wait.
Wow, the sound design and writing on that was really good, eh?
Oh, incredible. And the acting also, chef's kiss. So great. Tyler, in creating your episode, did you learn anything new and interesting since you've already done so much for the other theme party podcasts?
Yes. I learned more about light bulbs. Sourcing sound effects, trying to co-opt other sounds for the sounds of light bulb related things.
Yes.
And even in the writing of it, I created this sort of structure, this hierarchy of light bulbs based on how long they burn. And I didn't realize LEDs friggin' burn for a while.
Yeah.
And they just don't take up much energy, which I find fascinating. Whereas incandescents are, shine bright and get out of here. Live fast, die young.
Did you happen to find out if all LEDs are pretty much created equal, or is there a hierarchy within the hierarchy?
That's a good question. There probably is the 0.1% of the 1%, but I don't know exactly. And I think part of it is also the century bulb. I want to say it's an incandescent, and it's been burning for over 100 years.
Wow.
There's only been, I think, 2 or 3 short outages, but that was out of the control. But they just replace stuff in it while it continues to burn, to my understanding.
Oh.
And that's not an LED. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a true, this one bulb, like a bulb in your house has been going on for that long.
No.
It sounds like they're kind of cheating a little bit.
Yeah. But I also don't want to, I'm really bad at pulling stuff out of my ass in terms of facts and whatnot. So whoever knows more about light bulbs will be listening to this being like, this isn't about real light bulb facts. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's what improvisation is for. We've established that you can pull things out of your ass that are not necessarily true, and that's okay.
Yes.
Did you learn anything interesting about podcasting at all from your roles?
Not necessarily.
And if not, that's fine. I'll cut this out.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I've been involved in a number of podcasts in the past. I had my own podcast for a short period.
You did?
I had 2. I had one where it may still be on Spotify somewhere.
How am I just learning this?
I think I called it 6 Degrees or 6 Degrees of Separation. It was a fun concept, but it was just time consuming. And
I'm going to find this.
I would press the random button on Wikipedia 6 different times to get 6 pages, and then I would connect each topic.
Whoa.
And so it would be ridiculous and crazy and silly, but also, I mean, kind of makes sense. And I did that in my parents' basement. This would have been like maybe 6-ish years ago. And then I did a podcast with a roommate during COVID called I Know Nothing, and we interviewed different folks to talk about an interesting thing that they might have done. We spoke to a comedian. We spoke to somebody who does acro and silks and stuff. We spoke to a professional karaoke singer. But this is all people in our network.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A professional karaoke singer?
Yeah.
How does one make money as a karaoke singer?
So it's a fine line, whereas if you make X amount of your income singing, you can't be involved in the karaoke process because like you're seen as like a ringer kind of thing. So it's people who don't sing professionally. That's part of it.
Okay.
And then you get judged based on the song you pick, based on the performance. Like, do you pick a song that's going to play well in the room, or do you pick like a popular radio song? You get judged based on like how you dress as well. Maybe there's a fun costume element too. And what was insane, my buddy, I'll medium dox him, Chris, he's also a voice actor, very good voice actor. And we had to record the podcast, I think, 3 times.
Ugh.
The first time, his computer crashed. No, I think it was only 2 times. The first time his computer crashed, and then the second time, he didn't wear headphones, so his mic picked up us talking through his computer speakers.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, dude, you're a voice actor. Come on.
Oh, no. Chris, get it together.
So we made it work. He was the only one who had a professional setup, and his sounded the worst of everybody else's.
No.
Love you, Chris.
Well, lessons learned. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
If you were to continue that podcast, would there be a dream career to represent, to interview somebody for?
I would just kind of go down the occupational list of stuff that truly intrigues me, stuff that I never would have thought, or preferably jobs that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the default, doctor, cop, teacher, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes a phlebotomist tick,
Just that raw vampire urge to be around blood all the time, I guess.
Apparently, yeah.
Makes sense to me. For our listeners that might be interested in making their own podcast, do you have a software or a workshop that you attended or some equipment that you find to be the most useful?
No. Yeah, I like to use my DAW of choice is Reaper. I very much enjoy that. And then in terms of sound effects and stuff, that was an interesting experience. I have a connection in my network, Jeff Bremner. I want to say Bremner. I got in touch with him about something VO related. I think he was involved in a podcast that I was interviewed on, and then he was impressed with my mic. Of course, I'm not using the mic, but Nick's 416. It's on my other setup. But he's like, oh, you have a 416.
Sennheiser 416 gang.
Yes. 416T.
Same. Yep.
T for Tyler. But Jeff was like, oh, that's a great mic. And I said, yeah, I know a guy from Japan, kind of sort of fell off the truck sort of situation. He's like, can you get me one? So I hooked him up. He felt like he owed me, so he gave me a link to like his, I want to say it's freesound.org account, and he's like, I put sound effects on there all the time. Like, you're more than welcome to use any of those.
Wow.
I used some of those, I think, in this somewhere. And then having cool friends who do stuff. So all of the music is from one of my best friends, Matt Ryman, who does just kind of music, hobby music on the side. And he was more than happy to throw down some stuff based on what I described. And then I think I used all of it.
Wow.
Throughout. Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, that's one thing about voiceover and making podcasts, that the people that you meet in these industries and the way that you can incorporate the relationships you have outside of it really make the experience so much more rich. And I don't know where I would be personally without all of the people that I know through doing this.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's very much a found community, and everyone loves getting involved, however much or however little they're able to, based on their bandwidth and their life. And having an outlet like this, I think, is really awesome. It's a bit different, I find, for me, because trying to find the time during the day to work on this, because after hours, I'm like, I've been doing this sort of thing all day. So that is a bit harder for me.
Yep.
But then I hear stories of Lindsay being like, I'm breastfeeding and, sound engineering. And I'm like, I guess so. I guess I should probably try a bit more.
Anything for the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Relatable. Oh, boy. Lindsay, if you're listening, we appreciate you and all the work and time you put into making podcasts come to life. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Was there a podcast production role that you took on for the first time for this episode? And if so, how did it go?
The closest thing might be directorial, but I think I've done everything in every facet of the podcast that I was involved in. I'd done a version of that prior. I equate the directorial sort of role to what I've been doing for years in our Discord, facilitating voiceover workouts and giving feedback and whatnot. So maybe formally directing. But that's all I can think of. I've written for years and years. That was my original job in voiceover, was copywriter in radio broadcasting. So that's not new. The sound design isn't new for me. Maybe more on this scale is a bit newer, but for the most part, yeah, I've done it, most of it before.
Very cool. As far as how did it go, did you find anything with directing through Zoom to be, since you also do the improv stuff in person and you're around other actors in person, unlike some of us, do you find it more challenging to do direction and acting through Zoom versus in person, or is it just different and easier in other ways?
I like the convenience of Zoom, and I like the fact that, it can connect people all over, and I don't think any of us really we're in the same city, let alone state, let alone province for recording this stuff. Actually, we have a bunch of New Yorkers, but so I prefer convenience from Zoom for that fact, but a couple weeks ago, I did an in-person podcast, more of an audio play, and that was really cool, getting to perform in the room with people and kind of pick up the vibes, it's feeling tense in here, or it's feeling really fun and silly, I'm going to play more. So I think they each have their own, strengths and merits. But, And I will say, too, that one thing that I struggled with a little bit was, because I wrote it and I directed it, this is something that I feel like I'm not alone with other creators who do the same sort of thing. Writing something and being like, well, duh, it means this.
Yeah.
And then the actor being like, so I thought...
Or that line should sound like this.
Yeah. Or the actor being like, well, I didn't get that. And I'm like, oh, crap. I guess they don't know that this is happening unless an actor explicitly says it or the scene direction is very clear. So writing... so it's very, very clear what's going on in the scene, or letting the sound design kind of play that out. So then if it wasn't picked up during the recording, trying to sound design something that makes it clear what's happening.
Yeah. And as I said with Lindsay, just doing that with sound design without having a picture to go along with it or a video to go along with it or something. Finding the very specific sound that sounds not only like the thing you're trying to make it sound like, but also like it's in the space that you're trying to recreate is so tedious, first of all, to comb through the hours and hours and hours of sound library that are out there. I'm basically saying the same thing that you just said. I'm sorry, but...
No need to apologize. I will say one thing that surprised me, and I'm sure we could put like an I will say counter in the corner of this video or podcast. I've said that at least half a dozen times now, and I'm refraining from saying it for this next part. Finding out how many sound effects of the actual thing doing the thing doesn't sound like the thing doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, oh, I'll just get, 2 pieces of wood and I'll muck them together. Like, that's the sound of 2 pieces of wood. No, it's not.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Or, oh, this door doesn't sound like a door. Or, yeah, this piece of metal sounds not like a piece of metal. So that was interesting.
Yeah. We were specifically looking for different ways to come up with sound of fabric interacting with an object. And there are so many different ways that fabric can sound. And if you have a specific object that they need to interact with, like, say, like a cup or something, what's a cup made out of? Does a cup have any resonance to it? It's lots of layers, and trying to get it sound just right. You can waste so much time trying to find the exact sound and still never find it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like velour. That sounds like a poly blend.
Yeah.
What?
How rude.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to party questions. Tyler, could you briefly describe a party that you've been to that relates to this season's theme?
Yeah. I was recently at a diaper party for a friend, an improv buddy. 50% of two guys with Fitbits. We perform as a duo from time to time. And we'll be performing in the Toronto World's biggest improv tournament in early 2026. Yeah.
Excellent. Everybody check them out. Tyler is very funny. I don't know his other half, but Tyler is very funny. So you should go and seek out their content wherever you can.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
And so he's expecting a child with his partner. And so it was a diaper party, which I think is a newer thing because it used to be, baby showers, maybe the husband or the dad would get taken out for a couple beers. So a diaper party is more inclusive for everybody can come and hang out. And I think it connects to the family tradition section because of the fact that we were celebrating family.
Yeah.
And
literally making a family.
Exactly. There was a diaper hole game, which sounds wrong, but it was cornhole with rolled up diapers as beanbags.
Oh, that's funny.
Super ingenious. And then there were 9 pictures. Gareth has a brother, and then the mom, Bessie, has 4 sisters. So there were 9 total baby pictures on the table, and it's like you had to identify who was who.
Oh.
And they threw in a couple randos, and of course, Gareth was the one with the ridiculous comb over that nobody thought it was him.
Really? Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. And then they asked you to fill in a thing. What do you think the birth date will be? Because they had an estimate. And then what do you think the weight would be of the baby? So if you guess right, you win a prize.
Ooh, exciting. Do they have a name and everything picked out? I guess we don't have to dox the baby on the podcast, but...
I don't know if they have a name.
Okay.
I was pushing really hard for Tyler, but probably not.
I'll probably cut this out of the podcast, but I recently had my debit card information used. Somebody was spending my money, and I had to deal with a banker named Tyler. And I, first of all, thought of you, but then I was also like, a banker named Tyler? That just feels strange.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the top end age-wise of Tylers. I feel like I've never met a Tyler older than me. All the Tylers are younger, but that's just my thought.
Interesting. Now I have to think.
There's a bunch of Gen Z Tylers going around.
Yeah. Huh. I guess I can't think if I know any Tylers my age or older.
Yeah. I mean, you are quite older than me, so that's possible.
Yep.
Keep it in.
That's okay. I'm not ashamed of my age. That's fine. Did anybody at the party discuss traditional baby shower games? Because my understanding is diaper parties are popping up as more popular because they are generally accepted to be co-ed, and then they're moving away from kind of we're going to sit and have cucumber sandwiches and drink tea and sniff chocolates in a diaper as if it's poop.
Whoa, you get into some weird stuff.
Yeah, you're supposed to identify the chocolate bar, the melted chocolate bar inside of a diaper, and it's supposed to be really funny, like you're figuring out what the poop is. So
I am somewhat curious about that. But yeah. So, traditional baby shower stuff, was that your question?
Yeah, I guess at the party were people talking about traditional baby showers and how glad or not glad they are of people moving away from them?
No, but I almost wonder if it's because just as a society, we're having kids at older ages now. So I don't know. They're a couple of years older. I think they're early 40s.
Okay.
And so maybe decade older or so. But of the people that I knew that were there, I was probably one of the younger ones. But it also didn't seem to be a group of people that went to a lot of baby showers or diaper parties.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, when I think baby shower, I think, maybe a tiara and a veil and a sash. And it's in somebody's very pristine living room. And it's not the living room of the mom. And then, you just dote on the person. And maybe there's some, inappropriate stuff with diapers and chocolate and whatever else. Yep.
What is the most memorable party that you've been to?
So I lived in, you can cut this down for time too if you want. I lived in Australia for 2 years, and I moved to Melbourne, Australia, and there was a Facebook group, this is 10-ish years ago, that connected backpackers who were looking for places to stay and, find share houses, whatever. There was a post from this Japanese woman, and she was like, hey, I'm new to the city, blah, blah, blah. And so I liked it and I commented on it for visibility. I'm like, I'm just going through and being friendly. And she DMs me and she's like, hi, you seem nice. I would be happy to share a space with you. And I'm like, stranger danger, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I just liked your post. What are you doing? And that was foreshadowing because she's like a quokka, just like walking up to predators, just being like, oh, friends, your friend James, friends. So anyways, it's not going to work out because she went to a share house and then she's like, oh, Tyler, this place is great. Like, come check it out with me. It's awesome, like super friendly. There's free food. And I was like, okay. So we go there and it's this older guy. He insists on hugging us. And I'm like, this is a weird start. He's showing us around. The bedrooms are pretty big, but they're also divided by curtains to make more space for more people. I'm like, I don't love that. There was one inside bathroom. In Australia, it's very common to have an outside bathroom, like an outhouse, just for space-wise.
Okay.
So he's saying that there were 6 or 7 people there. They had chickens and ducks outside. He was contemplating making a hot tub and like having people help out. And then I think at one point something ran across the floor. He insisted that we drink this like very fresh water that he had in a jug that was sparkling mineral water, but it was also from a mountain stream. I'm like, that's fishy.
Can we pause for a second? You said something ran across the floor. Are we talking like a small mammal or an insect or a snake? What did we? I guess they don't.
I think
really
it was a small mammal.
Okay.
It might have been like a mouse or a rat.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, and I'm looking over at my friend, and she's like, like thumbs up, and I'm smiling, and I'm like, are you dumb? Like, this is terrible. And then it was coming to an end, and he was like, any other questions? I'm like, oh yeah. In my head, I'm like, there's no way I'm living here. But also, I was like, so Mohs said something about free food? And he goes, oh yeah, I'm a freegan. I practice freeganism. And I'm like, what is that? And he says, once every few days, once every week, me and a couple of housemates go behind like the Woolworths down the street, and we just see what we can find in the dumpster. And I was like, thank you so much, goodbye.
Listen.
So, and then pivoting, so this is the person that I'm dealing with, somebody who thought this was an okay situation prior to me coming to kind of see. She messages me a couple days later, and she goes, I met this guy on Tinder. He invited me to his house party. And I was like, huh? She was like, I want to go. And I'm like,
have fun.
I fear for your safety. Like, I will come along. And so this was like an hour north of Melbourne. This was like in the sticks, kind of. She picked me up like in the city. We drove up there and we go to this house, and it's like kind of white trashy sort of vibes. And he's so excited to see her. And I'm like, this is really weird. I find a beer pong table. So I'm chatting with the people there. She's chatting off with him. And they're talking about Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. And I'm like, this is not party conversation.
What kind of party is this?
And I'm also like looking at the house. I'm like, I wasn't expecting to talk about geopolitical stuff here.
Yeah.
At one point, apparently, she accidentally walked into the quote-unquote sex room because there are people just
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, there are people just like going, and then they were just like, oh, so sorry about that. Like, close the door on your way out. And then she had, smoked some weed with them and stuff. And I was like, look, the trains are stopping soon. I need to hop on a train to get home. Are you okay to stay here? And she's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm like, you're sure? She's a grown woman, right?
Uh-huh.
And I met her a week and a half ago. So I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. This is your and she's like, yeah, I'm fine staying here. Fast forward now, she's married with a kid, so to an Australian guy, so I guess she figured something out, but it wasn't the same guy.
Lots to unpack here.
But yeah, that was an interesting party.
Lots to unpack here.
Yeah.
Why did you continue talking to her?
The entertainment factor?
I guess. How would we have these stories if you had not continued answering her messages? I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you, because there's a lot that happened in that one night, let alone the entire situation. So you are still in touch with her?
I mean, I see her stuff. I don't know that I've spoken to her in years. But like pictures of her and her kid like pop up from time to time. After I left Australia, there was the odd, hey, how's it going? But just the cultural differences coming from Japan in your like early mid 30s to Australia, it's like a wild place. And she's just like, oh, you're offering me drugs for free? What a bargain. Like, that's the sort of vibe that I was getting. I'm like, lady, have some sort of discernment. Be wary.
She's still alive, though. That is the important takeaway, I think, and clearly doing okay.
And she's responsible for the growth and nourishment of a child.
Imagine having her as a mother-in-law someday, just like piecing out bits and pieces of her life from stories that she shares. I wonder if she talks about any of that stuff, or if she's even aware that it is worth being talked about, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. She's just like, well, that was Saturday. Like, let's see what's going to happen Sunday.
I'm so boring compared to some people. Holy cow.
I'd rather be boring and alive than fun and dead.
That is very true. Man, I want to hear more about your travels and your experiences with your parties. Are there any other parties from your travels to other countries that are good story fodder for the podcast?
When I lived in Thailand, I lived in like rural Thailand. And there was one time where I was walking to it was like a community and there were small houses and whatnot. And I lived in a house and I was taking my laundry to the laundromat down the street. And it was like 10 in the morning maybe. And these guys were all outside drinking. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, come drink. And I was like, I'm doing laundry. I waited for it on the way back. They're like, come drink. I'm like, let me put the laundry away first. And these guys had been drinking since the night before. Guys were already passed out at like 10:30 in the morning.
Well, you're not going to start drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning, obviously, Tyler.
That's true. And then my friends came who was like my neighbor, also from Canada. It just so happened that we got placed in the same town. So we're drinking with them. And then one guy's like, you guys like karaoke? Like, we'll go to this place that I know that has karaoke. And we're like, okay. We get in the car and that was an interesting experience. He had like a ball of sticky rice on the dashboard.
What?
That sounds like a racist stereotype. It actually, he had a ball of sticky rice on the dashboard. That's not a euphemism for anything.
Sure.
Just rolling around. And he was passing people. It's kind of country roads. We get to this place and it's like a pretty nice big house on some property. And my friend and I are looking at each other like, there's no karaoke here. What happened? There's no karaoke. And they brought food out. And in that corner of the world, it's like, oh, you're white. This is cool. I'll have a story to tell my friends if I hang out with a white person. That was the vibes. That was a wild party. But that leads to one of my co-teachers, after I left, got married. And so I went back for the wedding and I was in the wedding party. So I was in an authentic Thai wedding experience. And that was cool.
Whoa.
And so being in the wedding party, you're part of the festivities. They walk down the street. They went to the bride's parents' house and the groom was like, I'm coming in to get you, honey, in Thai.
Sure.
And he has to stop at each of the bridesmaids and say, what can I do for you to be allowed to pass to go to the next person to get into the house to get my bride? And someone's like, do 10 push-ups or give me 200 baht or whatever. And then we went inside and then people were giving the groomsmen money.
Neat.
One older Thai woman was super friendly, smiling and holding my arm and stuff, saying something. And a friend was like, she's offering her granddaughter. And I'm like, no. And so that was a cool experience, just being a part of the wedding. And then, of course, there was karaoke at the reception. And I was also invited to another wedding that I didn't go to because I didn't know the person. They were just a teacher and they invited all the teachers at the school.
Oh.
And in Thai, they have Thai names and they have anglicized names, but they usually pick their anglicized names.
Sure.
So I have, I think on my corkboard outside, I have the wedding invitation and it says the name of the couple, the bride and groom, their names were Nut and Top.
Oh.
Because they chose those names. Yeah.
Did you at all ask them why they chose those names or did they just
Nope. I never spoke to them because we didn't end up going to the wedding because we didn't have rides and it was early on a Saturday morning and we were just too knackered from the week.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it was a long journey to get here, but we're at the end of the episode. Tyler, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Before we go, could you please tell the people what you're promoting or celebrating right now?
I'm promoting work-life balance.
I love that for you.
Yeah. Sometimes I take too much advantage of the work-life balance and the life part versus the work part. But take some time to enjoy things that you like in life. Not everything's work, work, work. Don't live to work, work to live. I think that's the right order of operations for that. And then, yeah, listen to Theme Party, listen to The Collection of Moira Graves, listen to the first season of Peculiar Radio because we're working on season 2. I've just dated this episode as well by saying that.
That's okay.
And follow me on Instagram at Tyler Hyrchuk VO. Watch the Disney zombie movies, only Zombies 2 and Zombies 3. Those are the only ones I'm in. They did not fly me to New Zealand to be in Zombies 4.
Rude.
I don't think Shrimpy was in Zombies 1. Also, Shrimpy connection here. Merete is the wonderful creator of my Shrimpy plush that is on my bookcase outside. Exquisitely made.
Yes, I needle felted a Shrimpy for Tyler.
You did. Yes, it was beautiful. So I'm going to be on this podcast. Well, we already recorded it, but I voice a prisoner with 2 other improvisers interviewing me, and it gets very silly and fun. And it's called Ravanta's Most Dangerous Prisoners.
Ravanta's Most Dangerous Prisoners. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know when the episode's coming out, but they were very interested to see me playing a inanimate object turned animate. I think I said I was a bar rag and I was bitten by like a alcohol, like somebody with alcoholism or something. I was brought to life.
Okay, first of all, what led to you making that choice? And also, what powers does a drunk imbue into a bar rag when they bite the bar rag?
Just life, it seems.
Okay.
I have an affinity for inanimate objects, hence writing a whole episode about light bulbs.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I was just a bar rag and I spoke like this. I didn't have any powers. Oh, I just sopped stuff up. You spill something, I just sopped it up.
Wow.
And I rang it. Oh, and so what happened was I was in jail because I got caught bootlegging because I was purposefully causing patrons to drop their alcohol, and I would sop it up and I would wring it out over a barrel, and then I would sell just the dregs to make money.
At the very least, it is very ingenious.
It was wild.
Speaking of yes-anding, holy cow, good job.
Thank you.
I really like your promoting of work-life balance. Is there a reason in particular that you recently have been focusing more on working to live rather than living to work?
I think it's kind of more cause and effect. The work that I've been getting earlier in my career as a voiceover artist and voice actor, I was auditioning a ton, 1,500 times a year maybe. I've cut that in half now. And because I'm very fortunate in that I have repeat clients and I have work coming to me, I'm not as focused on bringing in more clients. And because that's so much of being a voice actor is auditioning and, marketing and finding leads and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've just kind of reassessed what I need to do to continue to make money. And the fact that I'm teaching, a few times a week as well is helpful. I'm narrating more audiobooks now. So, and we just recently moved at the beginning of the summer, so there's more stuff to do around the house as well.
I will add on to your promo that Tyler is the T in LTM. So if you happen to stumble across LTM and you're interested in participating in Tyler's voiceover workout, or if workshops come up, or if you have any questions about voiceover or setting up a booth or equipment or software, that Discord server is the place to go, I would say.
Yes. And if you have any VO questions that you want answered, the Discord is place one. I'm happy to also chat about that too. I usually give everybody at least 15 minutes on a Zoom call to talk about voiceover. I find people on Reddit all the time, and some of those have turned into students that I've been coaching on a semi-regular basis. And so if you're looking to find out more about VO, you want to get coached, you want to chat and whatever, hit me up.
Yay.
Yay.
I will also add this podcast is not sponsored by Zoom. Use whatever video chat service you prefer. That is just common parlance, I feel, so just wanted to point that out. Anyway.
Recording in progress.
Oh, no. Tyler, where can people find you?
Outside of Toronto. Tyler Hyrchuk VO on Instagram. Hyrchuk. At my website, tylerhyrchuk.ca. On Reddit, I will not dox myself, but it's pretty easy to figure out who I am. If you go through the voice acting subreddit for a little bit, you'll figure it out. Outside of that, I don't really... Oh, and LinkedIn, Tyler Hyrchuk. But outside of that, I don't really do any other social medias. IMDb, but that's pretty bland.
Also, you're not really responding to people through IMDb, so.
No, but if you want to hire me for something, go right ahead.
Hey, hire Tyler.
Just don't scam me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's
for the
next podcast. Don't get scammed, everybody. It's sad.
Yeah.
Well, that just leaves me to thank Tyler for coming to my theme party. Thank you also to Bad Machine for making our show's music and to Alyssa Esteban for our show art and for story development. Another huge thank you to Tyler and everyone else involved in making Lightbulbs. If you want to learn more about the episode and all of our shows, you can visit our website, lengthytangent.com. We've also got a Patreon page for everything from Lengthy Tangent, so pop on over there and see what we've got to offer. Be sure to follow us on social media, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and rate and review if you've enjoyed the show. Our next episode will be Monster F***er by Jada Mendoza. It's a story set in a fantasy world with complicated family dynamics. Once again, our theme for this season has been Family Traditions. I've been Merete Mohs, and this has been an interview episode of Theme Party, the podcast. Celebrate creativity.
Since we didn't eat the onion dip, can I take that with me?
Can I keep like a serving of it to have with chips later?
Yeah, I just need the Tupperware
Oh, yeah,
back.
yeah. Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Butts.
We'll just edit that part out.
Lengthy tangent.